Guys, I don't know if you're aware, but I am not a big Disney moviegoer, but maybe more in my youth. But one of my favorite movies of all time, both superhero movie, because it classifies as one, and just favorite movie overall, is a film by Pixar called The Incredibles. It was a mature take on some of the more kiddish Disney Pixar films that had come out. If you considered Monsters, Inc., Toy Story, Finding Nemo, I'd say, there were some adult themes in those other ones that were sprinkled through, but this, our protagonist is a guy who is going through a midlife crisis, Mr. Incredible, and how his life changes and how his family life changes as a result of his shift. Because superhero, then he goes to a normal working guy, and then he goes back to superhero. So it was a brilliant arc, and even as a kid, I understood it. How old was I when this? So it came out. The Incredibles 1 came out in 2004. I must have been 9 or 10 when the movie dropped. And then there were two movies at the time that just did not get sequels after that. Finding Nemo was one of them, and The Incredibles was the other. For the longest time, years went by, and neither of these films got sequels. We heard about other films that got sequels. Toy Story eventually got a sequel, which was Toy Story 3, which came out in 2011, which, if you think about it, they waited a long time. They waited about 10 years for a sequel, from 2 to 3, and Toy Story 3 really was basically it had the same plot as Toy Story 2, just with new villains and a new setting and a new cast of characters in addition to the ones we had. So it didn't expand upon the story much at all. And now they're making a Toy Story 4. I don't really know why. But there were other films that got sequels. The Cars franchise, for example. I think they just came out with Cars 3 or something. Cars 4, I don't even know. And then they had Planes, and they had all of these really bizarre Pixar films, and people asked consistently all the time, where is the next Incredibles? Incredibles 1 was a masterpiece. Where's the second one? Where's the sequel? Pixar, Disney, they usually do sequels to films that make big bucks. You see what Disney's doing with Star Wars right now, cashing in every fucking year. Pardon my language. Every year there is a sequel to a Star Wars film. There's always a Star Wars film every year. So I figured Disney would want to cash in and make it so that The Incredibles kind of fit the same mold. But then again, you lose productivity. So the productivity and the quality, I guess, and the productivity and quality of the film it's lesser. So Brad Bird, the one who directed and was kind of the mastermind behind The Incredibles, I think he had that mentality. He said, I'm going to write something that's decent, and it's going to take me however long it takes me. And these were statements that he made years and years as people asked, and he kind of just put out these PR releases. I don't know what he's been doing creatively since 2004, since The Incredibles came out. He's only probably been working on this film with the script and the materials for, I don't know, year and a half, maybe 2 years. I'm sure he's had ideas about this for a long time, since The Incredibles came out. He probably wrote down things, notepad, just to, little ideas he had about all the characters that he did create, because they're iconic characters. So I'm imagining he had something like that up his sleeve, and but now to finally, I'm actually putting on my volume right now. Now to finally get to the main segment of this video, they announced that The Incredibles 2 was coming out. Originally, it was supposed to be summer 2019, but then they pushed it forward to summer 2018, and trying to think. So Toy Story 4 was originally supposed to come out in the 2018, so they flipped. They swapped release dates, which makes sense. I really wouldn't have wanted another Toy Story instead of The Incredibles. I will go to see this film midnight release just because it's nostalgic of my childhood and because it's such an amazing film. And I hope that the second one holds up to that magic. I would do this with no other Disney film or just Pixar film or anything. This is the exception. Finding Nemo got Finding Dory. Every other Disney film got some type of sequel, but it's finally time for The Incredibles. By 2018, it will be 14, almost 15 years later. Some of the original actors are coming back, but some of them, if the characters had to grow up, the kid who played Dash probably has grown up. Some of the kids had to be changed. Jack Jack was never given a voice because he was a baby, so I'm imagining that that's an easy fix. So, all right. So without further ado, I know I kind of just went on a big rant there. Let's actually watch this trailer. Tired of waiting. Oh my... Yeah, he has ridiculous powers. There we go. Look at that. That's cool. He like zapped it. That's gonna be interesting. Now, hold on a minute. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's just some crap from Film Select. Now, here's something interesting. Now, for anyone, again, this is spoilers for the Incredibles film, the original. When Syndrome tries to capture Jack Jack, and then Jack Jack turns metal, he turns on fire, he turns into a monster. So all of his bizarro powers. I thought, because even Mrs. Incredible is like, something's happening, what's happening? Like, they're all confused because they assume that he doesn't have powers. Wouldn't they know right then and there when Jack Jack is attacking Syndrome that he has powers? Or is there an event in the second film, maybe they don't see it, and maybe there's an event in the second film that, babysitter. I mean, there's a deleted scene where they wipe the mind of the babysitter that had to deal with Jack Jack. I guess, she dealt with all of his crazy powers while Mrs. Incredible and the family was away. There's some behind the scenes stuff, and then you see the scene where Syndrome actually shows up and says that he's the babysitter, and then that ties into the end of the original of the first movie when Syndrome tries to capture Jack Jack at the very end of the film. So this was short. This was only a minute trailer. I'm imagining there's going to be a bigger trailer, but I wanted to do I do reactions to certain things other than the Walking Dead that I am interested in. I've done them for a couple of video game trailers back over the summer, and I haven't done one for a while. And sometimes when I see the trailer, I'm not in the location to film. But I just got back to my place from spending some time with my family. And I was like, you know what? I have some time. I can make this, and this is perfect because this is one of those movies. Like, years ago it was Star Wars. A new Star Wars, because after Episode 3 back in 2005, I was really itching for a new Star Wars. 10 years later, they came out with The Force Awakens, and now the same thing is happening with Incredibles. Basically, the movies of my childhood and the nostalgia. They're being produced, and they're actually coming out. It's happening. Where's that quote with Ron Paul where he's like flicking his hands? He's like, "It's happening, it's happening." So, The Incredibles 2 is happening, and I couldn't be more happy about it. And I'll probably do a movie review once, like next summer. On the YouTube channel, I'll probably just make a movie review, or me and a friend, or me and my brothers, because I used to have The Incredibles 1 on a VCR tape, and my mom's old car, we had a VCR player. I'm not even sure if some of you guys know what a VCR is. It was a tape, like this big, like the length of from here to here, this big, and you put it in a VCR player, which was this giant box, and it would read the film. So it would go in, it would read the film, and it would be like a film reel, but it would be inside like a plastic metal container. And in order to get to a certain part, you would have to do like fast forward, and then you could see the film moving, and then or you would have to do stop and then fast forward, and that would fast forward it faster, and it would just be a blue screen, and you wouldn't be able to know where you are. It's not like today with DVDs where you can stop and do screen selection and pause and manipulate things with Blu-ray and pick out the certain direct spot. Like, VCR was, and by these standards today, it was archaic, but for The Incredibles 1 was on VCR. To give you guys some perspective, that film was on fucking VCR. Again, sorry for swearing. I know I'm doing a review and a trailer for a movie that has a teen audience, and I don't want to start swearing, so I know I've dropped one or two, but most of my fans that watch my Walking Dead content are used to that because The Walking Dead has swears in it. But yeah, so I'm just excited, man. I'm just kind of giving you guys my backstory here with the film. It's cool. I'm really excited, and there will be a review next year for this movie. And if more trailers come out, I will do reactions and predictions for those trailers just because I'm excited. And I think there should be a lot of buzz about this. So thank you guys for watching. And yeah, stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll have... Well, today I was going to upload an Assassin's Creed Origins video, but now this video is going to trump it. I'll probably upload that Assassin's Creed video next week, and then tomorrow being Sunday is the Season 8 Episode 5 reaction for The Walking Dead, and yeah, then we'll just go from there, and I'll give you guys an update as to what's going on after that. So, thank you very much. Peace out. Have a good one.